Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new chapter, and the name of our chapter is Acids, Bases and Salts. Now you might be thinking, what are acids, bases and salts? Although salts we have some idea what are salt, but what are acids and bases? Now before going to this, we have to think about what is the difference among these acids, bases and salts. So all these differences we'll be discussing in this chapter. Their characteristics, how do they react with other substances, all these things will be discussed in this chapter. So let us begin. Now in the introduction we'll be starting with the definitions, then gradually we will be discussing their nature, their characteristics and their reactions with other substances. So first is acids. What are acids? Acids are substances that taste sour and are acidic in nature. Now let us leave the definition. Let us first think about an acidic substance. Say for example the lemon or the orange. How do they taste? They taste sour. Why? Because they are acidic in nature. They contain acids in them. Although the acids or the bases or the salts that we'll be discussing in this chapter are mainly the naturally occurring. So these naturally occurring acids, bases or salts are not harmful for our body. They are in fact useful for our body. They are not that much highly concentrated acids. Clear? So this lemon and the orange juice, or you can say the fruit itself, they contain this citric acid because they are citrus fruits. The name, that's why we say citrus fruits. They contain citric acid. Similarly, curd and vinegar also have acids in them. Curd has the lactic acid and vinegar has the acetic acid. These are weak acids, you can say, or the naturally occurring acids. So clear, what are acids? They taste sour and they are acidic in nature. Now next is bases. So bases are substances that are bitter in nature. Now do you remember what is the taste of the toothpaste or the baking soda? Soap, obviously soap we don't eat, but even if you try it, it will taste bitter. Why? Because they are bases. All the bases, they taste bitter and they are basic in nature. Also they have these characteristics that they are slippery to touch. Soap, for example, even toothpaste also is slippery. Whenever we add water to it, it becomes slippery in nature. It creates some kind of foamy substance. So why? Because these are bases. So we got a clear physical characteristic, or you can say the physical difference between acids and bases. Now there are some other methods or ways how can we distinguish between acids and bases through the help of some other substances, and those substances are called indicators. So what are indicators? Indicators are special type of substances that are used to test whether a given substance is acid or a base. How do they do that? They do that with the help of the change of the color. So this indicator is basically a substance which changes its color on applying it to an acidic or a basic solution, or you can say substance. As soon as we add it, it changes its color, and looking at the color we can find it out whether it is an acid or it is a base. Now here also we'll be discussing only the naturally occurring indicators. 3 indicators are given here. You can see litmus, turmeric and China rose petals, which are called gudal. So we'll be discussing the naturally occurring indicators. There are also some chemically or synthetically, or you can say artificially prepared indicators in the labs, but this all will not be discussing. We'll be discussing only the naturally occurring indicators, and 3 types of indicators are given here. We'll be discussing it one by one. Clear? Now moving on to the first natural indicator. What is it? Litmus. It is a natural dye. Dye means it is a coloring substance. It helps in coloring purpose. So, what is litmus? Litmus is the most commonly used natural indicator. Yes, litmus, even in the laboratories when you will be testing acids and bases, you will be given litmus. Maybe in the form of a solution or in the form of a paper. We will be discussing that after a while. So, what is this litmus? It is the most commonly used indicator. Clear? Now, from where do we get this litmus? We get it from the organism named lichens. We have learned about algae and lichens in our first chapter, I guess, in the previous chapter, where in the nutrition in plants. These algae and lichens are autotrophic in nature. Okay, so they are very much living organism, not dead organisms. But from there we get our litmus. So let us see one picture of lichens. You can see this. These are lichens. They mainly grow in the bark of the trees or in damp areas. You all know what is this. You might have seen, but you might have not known that this is a lichen. So from these lichens we get our litmus. Now whenever we dissolve this litmus into distilled water, it turns purple in color. Clear? There is one of the characteristics. So moving on. So how this litmus helps in distinguishing or giving us the confirmatory result that whether the solution is a acidic solution or a basic solution. It is very simple. Whenever we add this litmus solution or the litmus paper into an acidic solution, it turns red. And whenever we do it with a basic solution, it turns blue. You can see here in the lab, if you are given in a beaker a solution and you don't know, although it is written acid and base, let's say for example it is not written whether it is an acid or base, how will you know it? Simple. There are two different types of litmus paper. One is the blue litmus paper, one is the red litmus paper. Whenever we dip the blue litmus paper into a solution and if it turns red, then it is clear that it is acid. And whenever we dip the red litmus paper into the solution and if it turns blue, then it is base. Clear? Very simple. Just you have to dip it, and if the color changes, we will know whether it is an acid or a base. Now moving on. Now this litmus is available in the form of a solution or in the form of strips of paper known as litmus paper, which are generally red and blue in color. But nowadays we also find it in different color. We'll see that. So these are litmus paper found in the strips of paper, and the solution already we have seen earlier. So these are the litmus papers. This is red litmus paper, this is blue litmus paper, and this is the new type of litmus paper that we find. This is neither red neither blue, but it helps in giving us the confirmatory result whether it is a acid or a base. So this is the one we are discussing. This is third type. So this is the one we are using nowadays. Although it is yellowish in color, but whenever you dip it in any solution, whether it is acid or base, it will give us a change in color. And looking at the color, there is some shades of color given. So looking at the color, we can distinguish whether it is an acid or a base. You can see here, whenever we dipped it in a solution, it turned red. So that solution is definitely an acidic solution. And if it doesn't change its color, it is a neither acidic nor basic. And if it changes to blue or dark color, like blue color or bluish green or something like that, it is basic in nature. Now there are also some substances which doesn't change the color, like this in this case. So what we call them? They are called neutral solutions. They are neither acidic in nature nor basic in nature. Say for example water. Does water have any taste? Sour or bitter? No. Common salt? No. Cooking oil? No. They do have a taste, but it is not. Common salt have a taste, cooking oil has a taste, but they are not sour or bitter in taste. So definitely they are not acid or base. They are something different. We'll classify them in a different category. So these are what category? These are neutral solution category. Clear? Now moving on. Turmeric. We all know what is turmeric. We use it as a spice in our food. So this is also a natural indicator. How? Whenever we make a solution of turmeric in water, we put some powder of turmeric in the water and mix it and make a turmeric solution. Then if we add this solution in the substance that need to be tested, and if that substance, a few drops of that solution, if you put in that substance, turmeric solution in that substance, and if it turns yellow, that means it is acidic, and if it turns red, that means it is basic. You can see one picture here. So you can see we have put some drops of turmeric solution into this and it turned yellow, and into this glass and it turned red. So definitely this substance is acidic in nature and this substance is basic in nature. Clear? Now similarly, there is one more natural indicator, that is China rose. So what is China rose? It is not a rose actually. It is this, which we called hibiscus. Other name of it is China rose. So what we do is that we take out the petals of this flower and then we put some warm water in it. Gradually after some time, the water turns into a different color. Then we throw out the petals. Then we use that solution, that is a China rose solution. We use it as an indicator. Now we put some drops of that solution into the solution which needs to be tested. And if it changes the color, we will get an idea whether it is an acid or a base. By using the China rose, what happens is that if the color changes to pink or magenta, which we call, then it is an acidic medium. And if it turns to green, then it is a basic medium. You can see here, it has turned, this solution has turned to pink, dark pink. It is a magenta color. So definitely this solution is acidic in nature. And if it turns green like this, then it is basic in nature. Clear? So in this way, with the help of the indicators, we can know which is an acidic medium, which is a basic medium, or which is a neutral medium. In a neutral medium or neutral substances, it doesn't change the color. It remains as it is. Even if we add it, it doesn't change the color. Clear? So that's all for acid and bases, how to distinguish them, how do they change the color. All this we have learned in today's topic. So you can still go through their textbook and read it for yourself and understand the fact. You can also try it out at home. You can make a solution of it and try it out, which is acidic, which is basic. You'll see some color changes definitely, and these color changes will indicate whether it is acidic or basic in nature. So I hope you all have understood today's class. So thank you and have a nice day.